All right, welcome back, folks. With me, Phil Turrell. It's been a week, been 2 weeks since I posted, but sorry about the wait. But anyways, we'll catch back up with Squall in the aftermath of the Battle of the Gardens. Apparently, Goboldia just dropped a day off at the Origin and just got daddled away with Cipher. However, we did get two new Guardian forces that were Cerberus and Alexander. I did talk about Cerberus in the last part, so I guess I'll go ahead and talk about Alexander here in a bit. But let's see here. Rinoa is comatose and we're gonna be told we need to go to see Edea in the orphanage. So, but about Alexander, Alexander's summon is Holy Judgment, and as the name suggests, is a holy elemental attack. And Alexander's best abilities, in my opinion, are Elemental Defense times 4, which means you can junction 4 different elemental spells to your defense. So you can absorb lots of elements and reduce a lot of damage. Revive, which is a command that will automatically well, not automatically, but you'll revive a character to full HP. Medicine level refine, or medicine level up, I guess that's really what it's called, um, which is very useful to get med data, which you need to get the next Guardian Force in the game, Doom Train. Um, and really, after Alexander, I want to say that is it as far as Guardian Forces you'll get in the main storyline without going through side quests. But we'll talk about the next few Guardian Forces in the game. But we just got a weapon monthly, I believe that was July issue. Uh, and then the last ability that we can get on Alexander is the High Magic Refine, which can be useful, but at this point, we can refine a vast majority of the high level spells like the Noggin, Blazogin. I want to say Kiraga as well, but Kiraga, we get that. And, well, just like the other ones, we get a lot of it at once by, refining tents and cottages and all that stuff. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time here just looking at my items, seeing what I have. I still haven't used those strength ups and everything. I wonder if I'll ever use them. It's been a minute since I recorded this. But the only reason we came to the training center is to get that July issue of Weapons Monthly magazine. And it had some neat recipes, but really, we won't be able to refine any more of the ultimate weapons until the end of disc 3. So, but it is nice to have those recipes on hand, so when we do, if you ever want to upgrade, you can. But I feel like a lot of the weapons between the mid to high level tier weapons, like the mid high, the weapons are like, it's hard to justify refining them when like those items are useful for refining to the high level weapons. But it's going into Edea's house so we can learn the truth of what happened, what caused her to go all crazy and dictatorish. So as one can assume, everyone's going to be on the edge about meeting her. And in the house, Sid will pop out here, but there'll be a Kiraga draw point in the basement, or I guess in the room that's over here to the right or left, and an issue of Timber Maniacs. And I'm going to spend a few moments here in the menu adjusting my characters and Guardian Forces. So, really won't be very much battle in this one. There'll be a few battles, but it'll just mainly be Odin killing some jelly eyes and all that. There is going to be one big battle in this part, but it's not with Squall. Spoiler alert, we're going to get into another Laguna dream sequence, but that's where that battle and also where my visual mods show their glitches, which is both funny and at the time I was like, what the heck just happened? But anywho, we got you have a looky-see at my Guardian Forces, Alexander, Cerberus. Really, I didn't see why I'd put Alexander to learn, but really you want Alexander to learn medicine level up as quickly as possible. But really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter so much because we can go ahead and go to the desert and go farm cactars and just make the whole AEP situation just kind of, pointless. After 10 battles, you can get 200 AP, assuming you kill one cactar per battle. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk to Sid and see what the plot is going to... Well, first we got to look at the issue of Timber Maniacs. We finished reading it. Okay, so we're going to talk to Sid and he'll talk about his dilemma he faced. So, are you angry at me? Yeah, I'm sure you are. All I do is talk big when time's trouble, I'll run away. And he was really in a no-win scenario. His defeat would be their defeat would be the end of them, and their victory would be the end of his wife. He doesn't care what really happens, and he just don't, he really just loves his wife. Don't hurt my wife. So Edea will pop out here, and then she'll feel incredibly bad about the situation. But before we advance plot, we are going to do something very important with Edea right here. We are going to go ahead and challenge her to a card game right now. You really want to play cards right now? So yes, we do. Now, we're challenging Edea because she has her card, and this will be the first time we will have to play with the nasty plus rule. I don't really like this rule because really, I'm very kind of mindless when I play triple triad. But basically, the plus rule is when the numbers that you, for example, I think I'm going to get a plus in this card game. I think it's the next move. So right here, I'm going to place Diablos, I believe, Leviathan right here above Ifrit, and this Mesmerize. Now, if the numbers on the cards add up to the same number, you'll get a plus, and then you can also have a chance for a combo. Now, Edea's card is it's a really powerful corner card. You can card mod it into 3 Royal Crowns that can teach a Guardian Force the magic plus 60 ability. Now, going into the plot, because we already just got started. We find out Edea was possessed by another sorceress, Ultimecia, who is from the future and is here that really a lot of people I know hate this plot and the villain that is driving the plot of Final Fantasy VIII. While I kind of do understand why people dislike it and the time travel aspect of Final Fantasy VIII, spoiler, I really love this game even more after I've really dove into the fan theory that is R equals U, which it probably isn't true, but it's so tragically awesome that for me it's my personal headcanon for the game. Now, towards the end of the Let's Play, I'll talk about the theory some, but for now, if you want to know more about this theory, you can find videos and articles all over the internet and YouTube, I'm sure. Now, we found out that Ultimecia's objective is to find Ellone and use her powers for something, and we also learned that Ultimecia is a very fearful person who's filled of anger and rage. Edea then says to save Ellone, she surrendered herself to Ultimecia, and that's what kickstarts the plot of Final Fantasy VIII. And it's actually Ultimecia who ultimately seduced Cypher, killed the president of Goboldia, and all the horrible things in Fisherman's Horizon, Balam, and the Battle of the Gardens. And Edea will also mention that Ultimecia is yet to really achieve her goals and thinks that she will attempt to possess her body again in the future. She also says that she plans to make a stand. If worse comes to worse, she will count on us to stop her again. Now, she does make a passing mention of Adel, who's another sorceress that Ultimecia probably will be after. And she's the one who ruled Estar during the Sorceress War. And, if Ultimecia possessed someone like that caliber, things wouldn't bode too well for us. Now, while this is all important and well, Squall's ultimate reason to see Edea was see if she knew what happened to Rinoa, and really, Edea really doesn't know what happened. And Edea doesn't really think she can help. And eventually, we're going to find out during this monologue with Squall that Ultimecia's ultimate goal is time compression, where past, present, and future are going to be merged together, and Squall brings up the point that all they have to do is keep Ellone from Ultimecia and everything will be okay. But he's half listening, and his mind's really set on healing Rinoa and getting Rinoa back up to her feet. Now, interesting enough, Sid earlier, he said that, what did he say? I kind of like just, I just really got really behind in my dialogue, but he says that Squall's in a position of leadership. He can't really react emotionally in this way that he's doing. But yeah, so really what we need to do is we need to find the White Seed ship, because that's where Ellone is, and if we can find Ellone, then there's two things. One is we can prevent Ultimecia from getting Ellone, and then two, we could probably use Ellone in a way to fix Rinoa's issue. At least that's what Squall's gonna think later on in this part. He hasn't outright said it yet, but Ellone is gonna be kind of key to trying to fix this whole problem in Squall's mind. Now, we'll return to the garden, and the students will be told the truth of Edea, Ultimecia, and how they plan to keep Ellone out of Ultimecia's hands. Now, in hindsight, and in a vacuum to an average person at this garden, this probably sounds absolutely crazy, but I guess with all the stuff happening around the garden, it's probably not too hard to believe. Now, to advance the plot of the game, we have to go find Rinoa in the infirmary, and then that'll be the start of the second to last Laguna dream sequence. And this is also where my visual mods will make something interesting happen. It caught me completely off guard when it happened. Now, something very important to note about this dream sequence is if you read the Timber Maniacs issue that was in Shumi Village, and you will not have Ward in your party for this dream sequence. So make sure you don't read that Shumi Village Timber Maniacs. Now, Squall is going to be, what's the word I want to say? He's going to be processing his emotions. He probably has never really felt this way since he's been a loner. He just doesn't want to see Rinoa in this state. Call my name, which is what the very beginning of the game in that FMV said. Anyways, let's go ahead and set our party members to Kiros and Ward, this is kind of new because you're going to set your party members to Junction onto Ward and Kiros, but Laguna is always going to have Squall. Now, Laguna and his company will be broke and they'll be unable to travel without funds because Laguna's stupid self decided to spend money at a hotel. And then to make up the money, they're going to be in a movie. And he's going to be the star in this movie. You know, as Laguna said, he's an amateur. And, well, he's just going to make the best of the situation. Now, this movie that Laguna's in is pretty neat to the backstory of Final Fantasy. In expanded material that I found in the Final Fantasy Wikia, this movie is actually what made Cypher want to be a Sorceress Knight. And the movie is about a knight called Zypher, not Cypher, Zypher with a Z, who's protecting his sorceress from a ruby dragon. Which, the stance that Laguna is going to take in this movie is also going to be the same stance that Cypher takes during the battle, and it's also the reason why he uses a gunblade. Now, in the lore of Final Fantasy VIII, a knight's supposed to protect their sorcerers from external dangers and also from themselves, so that's also an interesting thing to note about that. Now, back to the story. Laguna will be this knight in this movie, and Kiros and Ward are supposed to be the dragon, and it doesn't quite go that way. Now, during the movie, Laguna is going to tell himself that he hasn't really used a gunblade since the training days, and then he'll make a little fancy slash pose. And I'm sure that's where Cypher got his finishing pose after a battle's ended. And the dragon, with Kiros and Ward, supposedly is coming down, but that thing is very lifelike and it does not look like a costume. Now, obviously that is not them, and it's actually a real live fire-breathing ruby dragon. And everyone does not realize that. Even the director's like, was the costume really that big? And Laguna, being a absolute idiot, is like, man, this must be real. And he's like, ah! And he's like, geez, take it easy, Kiros. And it's right here that everyone realizes that that's a real dragon. And they're like, oh, what am I doing here? Well, Sir Knight, it's all yours. And even the Queen of Cards, aka the Sorceress. No, it's not really the Queen of Cards, I'm sure. So now we're going to be thrust into a minigame with this gunblade. And it's going to be very similar to a battle that Squall had earlier with that Goboldian Knight in the air. Goboldian Knight, the Goboldian Soldier. I'm over thinking about Final Fantasy XVI yet again. So you're going to be given an option to attack and defend. And my rule of thumb is just keep slashing until the Ruby Dragon kind of acts really quick and erratic. Like right there, he's not being really quick. Right here, still not quick. Now the next one, he'll probably be super quick and erratic. Nope. But you can hold defend as long as you want, and then there's no penalty. You won't come out of a defense stance unless you let go of the button. But you can only take 3 attacks before Laguna is out of life or HP, whatever you want to call it. and then you'll get an option to restart the battle if you do fight the big one. So just like right there, I should have just blocked, but luckily I'll be able to take this ruby dragon out no problem with my fake gun blade, which I don't know, it might be real, who knows. But yeah, I imagine Cypher was like, oh, I just want to be like that knight. What's up? I'm not going to be such a wimp like him, I'm going to be a jackass. Anyways, I digress. Language fill. So we're going to get down here, but that ruby dragon's going to plop down on the ground and block us, and we're going to have to deal with it. Now, we are expected to kill this ruby dragon. Now, are we going to be able to do it with Laguna? No, we're going to have Kiros and Ward. Now, Kiros is going to make a stylish entrance, and Ward is going to be Ward and just plop down. But he doesn't really care. He's all muscle. So, we're going to ditch the knight outfit and get into our soldier, well, not soldier outfit, but Laguna's normal outfit. Now, choose a hold on a second, because we're going to go ahead and re-equip our party, because we don't want to take out that ruby dragon real quick, because Kiros and Ward generally are not going to have any of their junctions unless you used a party member that had junctions on them, which typically doesn't really happen. So go ahead and equip whatever you want to whatever party member you want. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here in my menus, and little do I know that, well, in a few minutes we're going to see those glitches happen on my visual mods. So a little bit of patience, but anyways, I just really want to make sure my guardian forces are equipped to the people I want, and I'm trying to pay special attention to the experience points of my party members, because I want to nab those status bonus abilities that the guardian forces have when you level up. So that's something I really want to do. So really, the one that looks like that's going to level up is Laguna. So I'm going to make sure he has Ifrit, Carbuncle, and probably Brother, since they will augment his attack, vitality, and HP. He's just hogging all the guardian forces. Look at that, folks. But and really, you can fight. I want to say there's Mesmerizes. I want to say there's Galas and Bite Bugs here, along with that ruby dragon that we're going to have to fight eventually. But nothing too dangerous here. But the ruby dragon is going to be a hell of a dangerous enemy once we start to fight it. I'm going to explain what makes a ruby dragon so dangerous. And really, what you want to do is you want to make sure you do not have fire or wind equipped to your elemental attack. So just don't have that equipped. Equip your blizzard spells onto your attack. That way you can maximize physical damage on this dragon. This dragon does have a lot of vitality. But yeah. Alright, I think I spent enough time messing around here. Maybe. There we go. So we're going to look at the guardian forces, I'm sure. Nope, we're going to go back in junction. Jeez, Phil. Okay, so just double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking. Go to the guardian forces. We're going to make sure that we have all the abilities where we need them. So that's all good. Of course, I saw guardian force HP on Leviathan. I'm like, I don't want that. It's too passive. I want something more powerful that they're learning. And I really like this piano theme so much. It's just catchy. It's not as It reminds me of I can't think what town it is in Final Fantasy VI. Is it it's one of the Empire continent towns before the World of Ruin. Is it Ibrook? Am I even pronouncing that right? But anyways, let's go ahead and fight some enemies, and we're gonna see what happens to Ward here. Now, for whatever reason, these visual mods do not like Ward in his second outfit. As you can see there, my god. I even had to pause it to be like, what the hell? But yeah, his weapon is glitched, his top half is glitched, his pants are glitched, he looks like part of his boot is missing. But yeah, when you look at Ward from behind, you can see through his body, which is interesting. So yeah, the visual mods, it's very weird, but it's also neat in a way. Mainly because everyone looks normal and Ward just looks messed up. Maybe that fall from the Sentra really messed him up. I don't messed up more than his voice. Not only is he mute, but he's just his body's just jacked up. But right now, like I said, I'm just trying to fight and level up Laguna, nab some of them special um, level up bonuses that the Guardian Force get. And I'm like, I paused the game here, I think. I'm just like, dude, what the heck? I literally paused it for like probably 2 minutes just to be like, what the heck is going on here? I even did it again. But mesmerizes and bite bugs, not very dangerous. Should take them out very easily. And of course, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just doing this so that way Laguna can level up and get those bonuses. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get out here so that Ward doesn't have to look all funky. Now, life rings that I got there from the Mesmerize, they will refine into life spells if you want to take advantage of that. You don't have to, but by now I already got 100 lives on everyone that matters. Now, back to the Ruby Dragon. Now, the Ruby Dragon, if it's at a low level, this fight's going to be very simple, which I think it is low level in this particular one. Now, if it's at its higher levels, this thing's going to hurt like a mofo. Its breath attack, which is its most powerful attack, it does non-elemental damage, and it's not fire elemental, which a lot of people assume, including myself. But since it's physical, protect can half this damage, and that's not the only attack you need to worry about at its higher levels. It will also use Meteor, Flare, and Demi. Demi's probably the least most dangerous attack out of all of them. But Flare is a dangerous attack, and especially Meteor. Now, we'll talk about Meteor when we see Meteor for the first time. Now, Ruby Dragons will absorb fire and wind elemental damages, but it's also weak to ice and holy damage. Now, there is a chance to put it to sleep. I think it's about an 80% chance to put it to sleep. So if you have sleep junction to your attacks, you have a chance to put it to sleep. And then once you put it to sleep, start whacking at it with magic and guardian forces. Since that's magic based, it won't wake it up once you hit it. Demi can also be good since it will cut its huge HP pool by a quarter, I believe. My general strategy when I'm actually hunting these things and I know I'm going to be fighting these things is to just petrify it with break, equip 100 break spells to your stats attack, and I think it's also an 80% chance you'll petrify it. So that's pretty good. Now, with all that said, if you do decide to be courageous and encounter at a high level, it's also one of the best places to reliably draw flare and meteor spells. Now, you put it to sleep, you can draw to your heart's content until it wakes up, and then just do it all over again. Now, later on, we're going to have to fight these things quite a bit in an optional dungeon to get, I believe, the last 2 guardian forces in this run. And this dragon is going to leave a lot of experience, which is good if you can and you do use those Guardian Force stat bonus abilities. Now after we slay the dragon, we'll see a very huge floating structure in the background in the distance, and this is where Laguna's journey will end for this dream sequence. So Laguna's like, what's that over there? Almost like he's stretching his back. What is that? Bard, what do you think? Laguna, why'd you ask him that? He can't talk. Just felt like it. And here we're going to see Ellone and Squall communicate through the ether. Squall's going to have a semi-wake-up conversation with Ellone. She actually says she's asleep and she can't control her powers when she's asleep. And she'll call her power Connection, which is a pretty boring name. And we'll also see another scene with Laguna here, who also met up with Edea while he was journeying to save Ellone. And we find out that Ellone was actually kidnapped by Estar soldiers to be a successor for Adol. Now Adol is the ruling dictator of Estar. Now she wants Ellone so that way she can pass on her powers on to her. Now at first this is odd, but again in the lore of Final Fantasy VIII, it's explained that when a sorceress dies or is close to death, they will pass on their powers so that they can die in peace. Now, Laguna makes a mention of fairies, but it's actually Squall's presence, and Squall, of course, wants to end this so he can hear and see Rinoa again. And it's also here that we find out that Ellone cannot change the past with her powers, and she found this out thanks to Squall. And then she also explained that Laguna went on a journey to save her. In the process, Rain died while he was out journeying to find Ellone. Now, we also find out that Rain had a baby, one to show Laguna the child. Now, I wonder why that's the case. I know why, and it's not 100% confirmed, but for me, it is. It is what I think it is. I'm going to just stick to that hill, die on it. Now, it's revealed at the very end of the game in the credits why Rain wanted to show this baby to Laguna. Now, Ellone will also tell Squall that she can only send him into someone she's met before, and she just disconnected since her collect call is over. And Squall, of course, wanted her to do that to him for Rinoa. Now, since Squall woke up, he will yell and say, "Ellone, take me to the past!" But you know, the collect call is over, Squall. Now, Squall will make a mention. Oh, and then we got an Inferno Fang from that Ruby Dragon, which teaches Croesus Fire Breath, I believe, or Inferno Breath or something like that. Fire Elemental Limit Break. But Squall will remember that Ellone is actually on the White Seed ship, which they are Edea seeds. So she should know where they are. Now, obviously, we just gotta go talk to Edea. She'll tell us where the seeds are, and everything will be hunky-dory. You can go in the past, time travel, get the girl, or save the girl, get the girl, and then just sail into the moon at the end of Final Fantasy VIII. Now, even though the plot will determine we have to go see Edea, we will actually need to finish up the Zell Love side quest, which I didn't get all the flags to get the conversation, but I'm going to get one last trigger, which is a questionnaire for Zell. So let's go ahead and go back to the library, and then we're going to go ahead and take care of that, which is kind of interesting. Now, I know I didn't get all the flags for this, so when you don't get all the flags for this side quest, you won't get the entire reward for the side quest, which is just a conversation. The real goodie you'll get no matter if you do any of the side quests or you do all the side quests. You'll get the same reward, and the reward you can buy it in a store with the Tomberry ability, so it's not like it's exactly a unique reward, but you do get it a little bit earlier. And if you don't have the Tomberry, well, at least you get the magazine. So I'm trying to trigger it. You got to go in here and back out, and then you got to have Zell, otherwise it won't trigger. Now, this committee is going to come out and ask Zell some questions about what he likes, the color, what his favorite food is, and I forgot the third question is. But you can pick. I don't think there's really any. I don't think there's any purpose to this other than to just give them answers. I've never really done the side quest all the way. I just do it as I go along the game. If I get some flags, I grab some flags. Really, the only thing I'm concerned about is that reward. But with that questionnaire out of the way, that's a flag taken care of, and now we can go to Balam and get that reward. So we are in Balam Garden, but I'm talking about the city of Balam. So I want to exit the library. I'm going to jump cut to outside, and we're going to pilot the garden, and then we're going to go to Balam. Now, the Great Bridge is going to be in the middle of the world map, so we need to go to Balam, which is in the middle where that little island is, but we're going to have to head through the Gobaldian continent. Don't go right. You can't actually go into that continent with the garden, so we're going to go this way. It's a shame we can't go underneath the bridge, but that's okay. You'll find a beach right here, right where Timber is. Get on the beach, get on the continent, and then just surf around or fly around the continent, and then we'll be able to get to the other side. So go up here, exit out. Now when you enter Balam, there'll be a girl with a red skirt, I believe. Talk to her and she'll make a mention that someone from the garden with pigtails is at his house, and I believe that's what starts it. I don't know if you have to talk to her, but I've always talked to her, and I've always just gone there. Now Zell will be like, "Yo, Ma, who's here?" And Ma's glitching out. She's like, "There was nobody here." And Zell will be like, "That's strange." Now you'll want to go to the inn and then spend the night there. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here. I really shouldn't have been spending this time here, but I just decided to do it. I think what I was trying to do here, I was trying to get inside there and thinking there was an issue at Timer Maniacs there, but there's actually not an issue there. And don't buy a ticket, otherwise you're going to be being sent to Timber, and then you'll spend another 1,000 gil to come back, which, again, money is kind of irrelevant. You don't need money in Final Fantasy VIII. So we're going to go to the inn, we're going to spend a night, and then we're going to see the fruits of my labors with this. Now, that said, because I didn't get all the flags, I took the liberty of, I took the liberty of just making the dialogue boxes for this. Excuse me. So the dialogue boxes will be filled in whenever you cannot hear them. Because if all the flags aren't triggered, then some of their dialogue will be unreadable or unhearable. So when you see the dialogue boxes come up, you'll see them come up. And you'll see Squall make a mention like, hey, I can't hear a damn thing. So right here. So enjoy the dialogue boxes. That was a little bit of a pain to get that dialogue and find it. But after all this dialogue goes through, we will get a reward, which is going to be Combat King number 3, which will teach Zell the incredible Meteor Barret for his limit break. So let's go ahead and talk to Zell. We get our reward. His little love side quest is over. And I really hope you enjoyed me making those dialogue boxes, because this side quest is a bit of a pain to get all the flags so you can read all the dialogue. So pretty awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back out. We're going to go back to the garden, and then we're going to go see Edea, and we're going to get the plot rolling again. So remember to go back through where Timber is, because we need to go around that giant bridge, and we didn't get to the southern part. But you can always go north to go south if you really wanted to, where the north will wrap into the south if you really want to do that. But I'm just so used to doing this. So just remember that Edea's house is on the southernmost part of the continent, at the edge on the left here, or yeah, the left. So find the lighthouse, drop off. We're actually going to fight an enemy here, I believe. I think it's the Jelly Eye. But Odin's going to take care of it, so I'm not going to talk much about the Jelly Eye, other than the fact we're going to get Wizard Stones, I believe, from it. And Wizard Stones can refine into tier 3 spells with the appropriate refined abilities. So I think we get like 4. So that's like 20 Bendagas, Faragas, or Blizzagas. If you decide to refine Wizard Stones and you've already, refined Quasicolt, don't refine into Blizzagas, refine them into Faragas, because we'll get Shiva's card in this part, and Shiva can be card modded into 100 Northwinds. So talk to Edea right here, and Squall asks, hey, we need to find out where the white seeds are, and she'll say that they're cautious, but they have taken a liking to the central continent. So somewhere in the middle of the central continent, among all the crags and the giant hills, and mountainsides, you'll find the seed ship. Now she'll give us a letter. Now this letter, you can sell it for some gil, and then you can go back to talk to Edea. She'll write you a whole nother letter, and she'll be like, oh, Squall, you lost my letter. Don't be so silly. Something like that. So you actually got a way of getting infinite gil, but again, gil is useless. So you can go ahead and do it just to be an annoyance to Edea, but you don't really need to do it. You don't really need to do it because the money is not an issue in this game. I really should just use the Renzo Cookie and kill that Jelly Eye. I'm spending too much time trying to draw Faragas out of this thing. So the Squall took it out. And it's dead. So let's go ahead and get to the garden, and then we're going to go and search the giant crater that's in the middle of the central continent. So if you look at the world map, where the central continent is, it looks like a giant hole's in the middle where I'm going on the map. And the white seed ship is somewhere there. Now, it's hidden behind like all these mountains and crags and whatever you want to call these little rocky mountains sticking out from the water. Now it's hidden behind these things, so you won't be able to see it very well. Now if you spot a cell, then you'll know where it's at, obviously, because that's where the boat is. And I want to say it's always in the same spot. I don't think it moves. So if you can spot it, just maneuver around it and you'll be able to get it. Which I think if I turn around 180, I'm going to see it right there. So all I gotta do is go around. Edea, you're crashing the garden, Jesus! So just crash right into the garden. You'll board it, and then the seed leader will basically say, "Go f off. We don't want y'all here." That's probably not so necessary, but Squall will get to the chase and say he wants to see Ellone, and they pose no threat, and they were told by Edea they would be here. And he also says that they freed Edea from Ultimecia's control. And now the seed leader doesn't really believe Squall, and he asks him politely to leave. Now, even though he says this, we can explore the ship. Now, if we follow them, we'll see a pair of familiar faces, that is Zone and Watts. And the two of them will catch up with the party, and Zone will inevitably ask Squall about where Rinoa is. And Squall will say she fell unconscious after the battle, which to Zone's credit, he does go off like he promised to if anything were to happen to her. And, well, yeah. Here he breaks it to him. He's like, I don't know what happened. We couldn't protect her. I'm sorry. You son of a... Maybe I should just, like, have that sound effect. Like, the sensor sound effect. But yeah. They came to get Ellone because there's a new evil force after her. And Squall proposes if they can get Ellone, well, maybe they can get Rinoa back on her feet. Now, this does calm down Zone, but Zone will warn Squall again. If you can't save Rinoa, then something bad will probably happen to him. However, this threat will fall on my deaf ear since we will never, ever interact with him after this boat trip. And if you talk to Watts for information, you'll find out that she's actually not on this boat. She left with S-Star soldiers. The same S-Star soldiers that kidnapped her when she was a kid. Now, why would she leave with them? Well, we'll find out during this adventure, but not during this part. Now, that naughty magazine we found in Timber, way back in the early parts, I think like part 9 or 8 or something like that, we can give to Zone now. And there's an issue of Timber Maniacs there. Now, give it to him for free, because the money sucks. The money is not going to help us in Final Fantasy VIII. Now, he'll give us a rename card and a Shiva card. With the rename card, you can rename a Guardian Force, and a Shiva card is a level 8 card, which is kind of strong, but the real use for it is to mod it into 100 North Winds, which can then be refined into Blizzagas for the entire party. Very much like how we card modded Quetzalcoatl into Dynamo Stones, and all those Dynamo Stones were more than enough to give 100 Thundagas to the entire party. That's what North Winds will be doing to our party. Although, I don't think I do it, honestly. I don't think I do it in this part. Or I don't think I do it in this playthrough. Normally I do it right there. I don't know why I didn't do that. Now, we will give him Edea's letter, which will cause him to talk to us more casually. And now Squall and the captain will have a moment here after he breaks the news that, hey, we rescued our matron. And Squall will be like, hey, our salute's the same. And then the leader's like, well, matron told us that it hasn't changed since Seed was established. Now, go ahead and use the draw point here, which contains holding. So make sure you have a high magic stat person to draw from it. Now, once we talk to the leader, he will say that Ellone is no longer here, and that she actually left with S-Star following a battle with Galbaldia after they picked her up from us. Now, unfortunately, we don't get to see that battle. That would have been a very cool FMV to see, but I'm sure the budget constraints for Final Fantasy VIII prevented them from doing this. Anyways, we don't get to see that battle. But we do get to see its aftermath. Now, S-Star basically came... well, Galbaldia was chasing around because, you know, Galbaldia wanted Ellone when Edea was possessed by Ultimecia. And they say before long they encountered the Galbaldian fleet. They had a lot of ships because obviously they were searching for them. Now, they say they should be more careful, but no matter how careful you are, you're going to get caught if the plot wants you to be caught. Now, luckily for them, S-Star was actually around perusing the open seas, and they find out that they actually are going to come up and show Galbaldia what's up. Like, hey, what the hell are you doing in our high seas? Get out here. And as the leader said, a battle erupted between them, and they were caught smack dab in the middle of it. And they came up and said, "Hey, y'all should probably evacuate. It's very dangerous." Didn't sound like very big dictatorish soldiers that we saw in Laguna's dream sequences. Of course, they didn't leave. They didn't trust them because they had no reason to trust them. But Ellone, being Ellone, decides to trust them and jump onto their ship. And as Zone said, she smiled. And the White Seed leader does not know why she decided to trust them. Which, if you played this game, you know why. Because it's a pretty obvious reason why she trusts them. But as the White Seed leader says, she's probably an S-Star, and he's sorry that they couldn't protect her. So we're going to go back to Garden, and Squall's going to be like, "Hey, yo, we're going to go to S-Star and go rescue Ellone." So Squall's like, "S-Star?" And he is like, "Oh, geez." Xenophobic S-Star. The area around the continent's not suitable for the Garden. So we're not going to be able to fly the Garden there, or pilot the Garden there. We're going to have to go about it a different way. A much, much different way. As in a walking way. Now, I don't know why I did not edit this part out for whatever reason. So Squall is going to go down. He's going to go back up. And then we're going to get into... actually, no, I remember. I wanted to actually go to Shumi Village and draw Ultima from the draw points. I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, so between all these jump cuts, I did go to Shumi Village and withdraw Ultima, because again, that Ultima draw point, well, this costs 5,000 big ones to draw from it. Again, money not being an issue. Every time that you travel around the world map, you'll get a salary, and right now my salary I think is like 9 grand every time. So every time I get that salary, I just tend to go to Shumi Village and blow 5,000 big ones and draw Ultima. And you know, as the old saying goes, you don't like it, whack it with Ultima. You like it, hit it with Ultima. You want to destroy it, smash it with Ultima. So that's what I'm going to do here. After I get Ultima, that'll be the end of this part. But it's kind of crazy. I guess it's really not crazy that I guess the main enemy in Final Fantasy 16 is the name of it's Ultima, just like the mythology in Final Fantasy Tactics, and in Ivalice, one of the big baddies is Ultima. It's been a long time since I played 12, but kind of cool how the best spell in Final Fantasy 8 and most of Final Fantasy is one of the baddies in Final Fantasy 16, if not the ultimate baddie in Final Fantasy 16. But that's the end of this part, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like this part, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and bye.